Individuation is not about becoming better than others. It is not self-improvement in the superficial sense. It is the lifelong process of becoming who you truly are beneath all conditioning, all masks, and all borrowed identities. It is the slow, often painful peeling away of everything false, until what remains is the raw, unfiltered truth of your unique soul. The world will not encourage this journey. It prefers conformity, predictability, and people who are easily defined. Individuation, by contrast, is messy. It requires solitude, self-confrontation, and the courage to stand apart. It will ask you to disappoint others in order to be honest with yourself. It will challenge your beliefs, your attachments, even your sense of safety. But in return, it will give you something priceless: authenticity. You see, most people don't live. They perform. They become what others want them to be, or what think they should be. They play roles so convincingly that they forget they are wearing a mask. But your soul is not fooled. It waits patiently beneath the surface, sending you signs: dissatisfaction, anxiety, recurring dreams, a longing you can't explain. These are not problems to fix. They are invitations to awaken. Individuation begins the moment you stop asking, "What should I be?" and begin asking, "Who am I, really?" It begins when you stop measuring your worth by external standards and begin seeking inner truth. It is a sacred rebellion, not against the world, but against your own sleepwalking. And no, it will not happen overnight. Individuation is not a destination, it is a path, a spiral. You will revisit old wounds. You will meet forgotten parts of yourself. The shadow will rise. So will the inner child, the wise self, the warrior, the artist, the mystic. Each has a place in your becoming. To individuate is to reclaim your inner authority, to trust your own voice over the noise of the crowd. It is to recognize that no one else can define your path. You were not born to live someone else's idea of a good life. You were born to walk the path that only you can walk. Even if it's misunderstood, even if it's lonely at times. So embrace the process. Let it shape you. Let it strip away what is false. Let it refine you into something honest, whole, and alive. Because in the end, the greatest tragedy is not death. It is never having truly lived as yourself. And the greatest freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is being who you are. You say you want to change. You say you want peace, freedom, purpose, a deeper life. But what you may not realize is that the life you want cannot exist alongside the person you are trying to hold on to. True transformation always demands a death. Not a physical one, but a psychological one. A shedding, a surrender, a funeral for the version of you that was built for survival, not for truth. We cling to our familiar patterns, even when they hurt us. We defend old identities, even when they no longer serve us. Why? Because ego does not want to die. The ego would rather stay wounded and known than be healed and reborn. It will whisper lies to keep you safe. You'll be lost without this. This is just who you are. Change is dangerous. But these are the voices of fear, not wisdom. Carl Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." And this is that pain. The pain of dissolving everything you once believed yourself to be, in order to become who you truly are. It's the pain of leaving behind the victim, the people pleaser, the perfectionist, the one who smiles while silently suffering. These identities helped you survive, but they cannot help you live. You must let them die. This death is not a one-time event. It is a process, a sacred unraveling. It begins when you stop reacting in the same old ways. When you stop justifying what no longer aligns with your spirit. It deepens when you begin making choices that your old self would never dare to make. Saying no without guilt, walking away without explanation, speaking your truth without apology. At first, it may feel like loss, but over time you will realize it is liberation. Every life transition, every spiritual awakening, every emotional breakdown, every dark night of the soul, carries this same hidden truthing: something must, and so something real can begin. The caterpillar does not become a butterfly by adding wings to its existing form. It dissolves. It disappears. It allows itself to become unrecognizable so that it may be reborn into what it was always meant to be. So must you. Stop trying to upgrade your old self. Stop trying to decorate the mask. You are not here to improve the person you were conditioned to be. You are here to release them. To outgrow them. To bury them with gratitude, and then walk forward into the unknown. This is the threshold, where the life you say you want waits patiently on the other side. But the key is not more effort. The key is release. The key is to grieve the self you thought you had to be, so you can finally meet the one you were born to become. Do not fear the death of the false self. Fear never knowing the power of your true one. So I ask you, when will you stop wasting your life living for others? When will you begin the sacred work of becoming who you truly are? Because your life, your real life, begins the moment you stop looking outward and start looking within. Focus on yourself. Everything else is noise. This is the nature of projection. It is the unconscious act of placing your disowned thoughts, feelings, and potential onto someone else. You either admire or despise in others what you refuse to acknowledge in yourself. And until you recognize this, you remain disconnected from your true power. Projection is a form of avoidance. A clever one. It allows you to keep living without confronting the parts of yourself you find uncomfortable or overwhelming. But while it may feel safe, it silently imprisons you. Because when you give away the ownership of your inner world, you also give away the power to change your life. You must begin to withdraw those projections. Not by blaming yourself, but by becoming radically honest. Ask yourself, why does this person trigger me? Why does their confidence make me uncomfortable? Why do I admire them so deeply? Every strong emotional reaction is a mirror. Every emotional charge is a clue. Follow it inward. When you stop seeing others as the enemy or the ideal, and start seeing them as reflections, you take the first step toward reclaiming yourself. You stop outsourcing your worth. You stop seeking validation from the external. You begin the sacred work of turning inward. Of asking, what have I lost touch with inside myself? This is how you reclaim your power, by no longer giving it away to the people you criticize or envy. By realizing that everything you see in others, the light and the dark, lives within you as well. So take back your projections. Own your anger. Own your ambition. Own your beauty, your brilliance, your brokenness. Own all of it. That is the path to inner freedom. That is the beginning of true self-mastery. You are not meant to live your life in the shadow of others. You are meant to become whole. And that wholeness begins with taking back what you once cast out. Time is not just a linear measurement. It is a vessel for your becoming. It is not merely something that ticks by on clocks and calendars. It is the rhythm of your psyche unfolding. How you spend your time is how you shape your soul. And yet, most people throw their days away as if they are infinite. As if their purpose can wait until tomorrow, or next year, or some distant moment when life finally feels right. But let me tell you, the psyche does not wait. It watches. It waits for you to awaken. And every hour you spend in distraction, avoidance, or empty stimulation is an hour stolen from your true self. You scroll, you chase, you compare, you numb yourself with noise, and all the while something deep within you, something ancient and true, grows restless. It knows you are wasting something sacred. It knows you are meant for more than survival, for more than performance, for more than the curated illusion of progress. You are meant to live deliberately, to feel the weight of each passing day, not as a burden, but as a reminder that your life is a finite opportunity to actualize your potential. And yet, when you delay your healing, postpone your creativity, silence your intuition, you betray the very soul that came here to evolve. Time is not just something you manage, it is something you honor. You honor it by living with presence, by choosing depth over distraction, by prioritizing silence, solitude, and self-inquiry over the constant pool of superficial demands. Every moment you spend aligned with your truth deepens the soul. Every moment you waste trying to be what you're not, trying to impress, conform to escape, fragments it. You think you're killing time, but time, slowly and silently, is killing you. Not your body, but your essence. The soul ages differently than the body. You can be 20 years old and already weary with regret. You can be 70 and just beginning to bloom. It all depends on how consciously you've lived, on how present you've been to the inner unfolding of your being. So stop treating your days as disposable. They are not placeholders, they are invitations. And every wasted day, every unconscious hour, is a page torn from the story you were born to write. You are not here to pass time. You are here to fill time. With meaning, with growth, with awareness. Let each moment be a mirror. Let each day bring you closer to the one you were always meant to become. Because time, in the end, is not money, it is not pressure. It is not something to escape. It is Psyche. And it is asking you to wake up. There comes a time when the life you have built, the roles you play, identity you wear, the values you inherited, begins to feel hollow. You may appear successful, you may be admired, even envied. But inside there is a quiet ache, a restlessness, a sense that something essential is missing. This is not failure. This is the beginning of something far more important: the call to individuation. Life is not meant to be squandered in comparison, in distraction, or in the noise of other people's opinions. You were not born to become a replica of society's expectations. You were born with something unique inside, something waiting to awaken. But that awakening requires a brutal, honest focus on the self, and most of us are running from it. Let me tell you something: you are not behind. You are just distracted. If you want to live a meaningful life, start by focusing on yourself. Not selfishly, but soulfully. Not in ego, but in essence. When you waste trying to please others, living their dreams, hiding your wounds, or waiting for approval, you betray the one person you were born to beg you. There is a part of you that you avoid. A part that lurks in the background of your mind, showing up as irritation, anxiety, envy, self-sabotage, or unexplained sadness. This is your shadow. It is not evil, though it may seem dark. It is not your enemy, though it may feel threatening. The shadow is everything about you that you've been taught to reject. The emotions you suppress, the traits you deny, the wounds you never gave yourself permission to feel. Most people spend their lives running from this part of themselves. They stay busy, distracted, and outward focused. They blame others for the pain they haven't processed. They build identities around being the good one, the strong one, or the successful one, while burying anything that doesn't fit the image. But what you bury does not disappear. It waits. It waits in your subconscious, shaping your decisions, distorting your relationships, and draining your life force. The more you resist your shadow, the more power it gains over you. The more you deny your pain, the more it manifests in your behavior, unconsciously, compulsively, and destructively. Facing the shadow means looking at your anger without judgment. It means admitting your jealousy, your fear, your need for control. It means allowing yourself to grieve the things you never let yourself grieve. It is not easy work, but it is sacred work. Because within the shadow lies your unlived life, your buried potential, your authentic power. You cannot become whole until you reclaim what you've rejected. You cannot love yourself until you learn to embrace the parts you once hated. And you cannot focus on your life's true direction while you're still running from what's inside you. So stop hiding. The shadow is not here to destroy you. It is here to free you. Not by making you perfect, but by making you real. Wholeness begins when you stop pretending. Healing begins when you stop avoiding. And your true life begins the moment you stop hiding from yourself. Much of what disturbs us in others is not truly about them. It is a reflection of what we have not yet accepted or understood within ourselves. We see arrogance and feel offended because we have not yet come to terms with our own desire to be seen. We criticize others for being selfish, when in truth, a part of us longs to assert our own needs. We fall in love with people who embody confidence, boldness, creativity, because those very traits lie dormant in our own psyche, unexpressed and unexplored.